Were you able to stay up for the Grammys last night? I couldn't make it. But I did wake up this morning and I listened through and I found some great moments that I want to celebrate with you all. Here we go with the top 10 vocal moments in the Grammys from last night. I'm going to just point them out to you all. I'm just going to show you a picture of them here as opposed to listening through, because if I try to play any audio from this from last night, I guarantee you the video is going to get blocked. So what I did was I uploaded it over on Patreon for my followers over there. Thanks for the love and support. You can sit down with me uninterrupted, listen high quality audio and video full way through these 10 songs, but I'm not going to show them here. I'm just going to talk about them from 10 to 1, what I thought were the greatest vocal moments. Coming in at number 10 was Lainey Wilson performing with Jacob Collier, Let the Good Times Roll. This was a really good vocal performance and just arrangement of the song in general. Jacob Collier didn't sing, but he was at the keyboards playing, and she sounded great. Like, she has her thing, you know. She has that really bright country twangy tone. She has a decent amount of grit. Her pitch accuracy was great. And I have to say, in general, I was really impressed with how many vocals there were that were just natural. No pitch correction, no auto-tune, just getting up and singing with a mic. I didn't expect to see that much from the Grammys, but I did. It was really great, and she was one of them. Really strong vocal performance. Next up, coming in at the 9 spot, was Billie Eilish's performance of Birds of a Feather. I thought this was really, really good, but it was straightforward down the middle, not different from many of the other times that she's performed the song live over the last several months. Sounded ethereal. She had her airflow in her tone. She did get belty at a couple times. She didn't do the crazy long belted high note that she does where she holds it forever and then the music keeps going. But she did sing some high notes with belt, and she did sound great. Again, it wasn't an innovative arrangement or anything like that like they do, but they clearly weren't going for that. They were just looking to do a remake of the song that we all fell in love with, which, you know, for the Grammys makes total sense. But that was a very good performance I wanted to point out here. Next one in the 8 spot was Teddy Swim singing Lose Control. This was an interesting version of it. It didn't have the drums, so it didn't have that drive and, you know, which makes you kind of want to do this to it. It had orchestra and piano, and it was a little bit more of a somber version of it. His voice sounded great. His grit was there. I think of him as a whiskey tenor. He's got that bright, brassy tone, but then he's got all that cool grit around his tone. And his agility is next level. That riff he does is so good, and he crushed it in the performance. Really, really great performance. It was kind of a truncated version of the song, but it was really, really good. Next up in spot 7, I have Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga singing California Dreamin'. This was beautiful. They didn't do Die With a Smile because I think, you know, with the LA fires and sort of the state of the vibe in that scene, this was a lot about LA fires, the Grammy, and they raised money and all that. So them not singing Die With a Smile, I could see would make sense. But they did sing California Dreamin', and this was a really cool version of it. Bruno Mars sounded amazing, as he always does. His tone was great. He did a slight adaptation to the parts that he sang, but the thing that really caught my attention was Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, she did like a complete rewrite of the melody, seemingly improvisationally, although no doubt she prepared it before, but it was really, really good. It was a different melody than California Dreamin'. Like, she took and went off the rails. It was really cool and interesting, so you got to check out that one. Coming in at the number 6 spot was Benson Boone doing Beautiful Things. Now, this was amazing. He sounded so good. It was very similar to his performance at the VMAs, where he just, you know, he had a little bit of this like Freddie Mercury vibe going on. He gets up on the piano and does a flip off of it and lands it and sings. Like, he is just a firecracker. I love his energy. I think he's a really, really talented young dude, and I'm excited to see what next steps he has for his singing. He had a great performance. Coming in at the number 5 spot is Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter had a little moment in the show. Like, she had got to do a bit of a montage of her song. She did Espresso and Please, Please, Please. And did she do anything else, or was it just those two? A lovely performance, very charming. She comes out, she's got a tuxedo and a cane, and she kind of drops the cane. And, you know, she's like making fun of herself a little bit the whole way through. It was very, very good. Vocals sounded good. I did think I'd heard a little bit of auto-tune. I can't help, I have to be honest. I thought I heard a little bit of it in there. But if it was a very small amount because her vocals weren't perfect. And I loved that, which is what I loved about everyone else's vocals too. Like, barring there were a couple exceptions, I could clearly hear vocal effects processing on those. That's why they didn't make it in my top 10 list. But I was really entertained by Sabrina Carpenter's performance and just her cheeky little comedy throughout. She is so delightful and charming and talented. And she had a really good tap number in here too, which I didn't expect, but it was very, very good. So Sabrina came in at number 5. Coming in at the number 4 spot is Stevie Wonder and Herbie Hancock singing We Are the World. This was a really beautiful, beautiful moment. Just seeing Stevie Wonder sitting there. He played the harmonica before, and then he sang We Are the World. It wasn't a perfect vocal. It was the vocal of a guy who's been singing his whole life, but it was perfect. It was perfect. And just natural and raw and honest and everything that he is. I was so impressed with that. So he's in at number 4 with that. Number 3, one of my favorites, one of my favorites on this channel. I love her, Chappell Roan. Now, it's like, how could I not pick Chappell Roan as the first spot? Well, here's my thought. She was amazing. She was absolutely amazing. Her vocal sounded amazing. It was a live, raw vocal. She was in the moment. The stage was cool. The costuming with the sort of the rodeo clown thing they went for was so innovative and clever. But it was pretty much, as far as musically speaking, the thing we've heard before, done really, really, really well. There wasn't a ton of musical or vocal innovation per se. She sounded amazing, but I'm not going to point to it as like it was, it's something we'd never seen from her before. It was just really, really, really good what we've seen of her. And, I just love Chappell. We all love Chappell. Everybody was dancing and singing in the show. It was such a great, great, great moment. So Chappell gets to number 3 for me in the performance. Now moving to number 2 was, Cynthia Erivo. And why she's in the number 2 spot for me was because she sang jazz standards. She was doing Fly Me to the Moon, this amazing version of Fly Me to the Moon. And she completely, like a true jazz singer, was rewriting it. She was also scatting. Her voice sounded incredible. It was so fun to hear her sing something that wasn't wicked. I haven't heard her very much. So I have definitely a Cynthia Erivo deep dive coming after this for sure. She was so elegant and charming, and the way that she sang and that she moved from the piano over to a bigger backing orchestra, such an impressive performance. And for the last spot, the number 1 spot, my favorite vocal from the whole thing was by this amazing singer right here, Ray. Ray blew me away. Now, I've reacted to Oscar-winning Tears before, as many of you have seen, and that blew me away. But this performance, even though it wasn't the full version, it was so raw. You could see as she went up to the high note, the crazy high note, the whole crazy thing she does. She went into that and she was almost like having a fit. Like she was just like in this like expressive zone, like she's just like having a moment. It was so exciting. It was such a cool moment. She crushed it. I was so impressed by Ray. And I have to say, I was really just impressed by the Grammys. Like, it was a lot of fun to watch. And there were some really great standout performances. And I went in kind of bracing a little bit, expecting to hear a ton of pitch correction and autotune, but I really didn't hear that much. I didn't hear as much as I had expected. And that really just warmed my heart. It gave me a renewed excitement and hope for the future of the music business and of these amazing artists. I can't wait to celebrate them more into the next years, and we're going to have a fun 2025 with them, so stay tuned. All right, let me know what you thought. What were your favorite performances from the Grammys? Let me know down in the comments who really wowed you. And if you like this video, subscribe, click the notification to stay up to date. And if you want to see me listen to all of these for the first time on camera, come on over to my Patreon and join up over there. I really appreciate the support from you all over there. It really keeps this going for me. So, all right, I'll see you in my next videos. Thanks for watching.